Hot air heating, room heating in today's episode coming up next. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Morning Minutes, episode 317. Hot Air Rises with Mark Novak and special guest Rick from COLDBUSTER. How are you, Rick? Mark?
I'm fine. Thank you, Michael.
Hey, guys.
So,
hello
Rick,
to everyone out there.
Yes. And any questions that pop up, feel free to ask when they we may just shoot them out to you as well. But tell us a bit about what you do, where you do, and especially how that relates to property.
Well, Michael, COLDBUSTER provides supply and install, if required, of underfloor heating. It's essentially absolutely the best form of heating available if you're doing flooring work, and if you're going to pay for heating anyway, floor heating is the absolute way to go. It's a no-brainer. And what we offer particularly to those interested in what Novak does is not only providing the best form of heating, but in my bold opinion, the best value add anyone can do for their property in the whole building industry. Now that's a very huge call, but I back it up because everyone thinks of floor heating as a luxury item, but the cost is quite low. Much lower than just about everyone expects. So that huge differential between the perception of luxury and the reality of the cost is the value add for the client. And you can do a small bathroom for as little as a few $100s floor heating, or a whole big house for say $10,000, $20,000. But when that house eventually goes on the market, whether it's next year or 20 years from now, one of the attributes is floor heating throughout. That tells the market this is a luxury property, and hence it changes the overall image of the property. And it could easily add $10,000, $20,000 to the value. By spending $10,000 or $20,000 on floor heating, it could easily add $50,000, $100,000 to the market value of the property because of that change of image. And if it already was a luxury property, it further enhances that image. So it's a no-brainer, floor heating, both on a physical sense and on a financial sense for anyone doing floors.
So the best thing for people to remember is
even just by having a happy wife, even just by having a happier wife could save you hundreds of thousands of dollars. Floor heating.
In many, many ways, yes.
So the big trigger for people when to think about, unless they're buying a brand new property and they can have it done at construction, the next big trigger point would be if you're redoing the flooring. You may have bought that's older, secondhand, you're doing new carpet, you're doing new floorboards. Whenever that's the case, that's a big trigger point because there is that big. It's a lot more cost effective to do it at the same time rather than doing that. That's like your big recommendation.
That's right. We do have some small percent of clients actually rip up their floor just to put in floor heating. They love it so much.
Yes.
But granted, most clients, it has to be that time before they're doing the floors. And yes, it's a great way to if you're going to improve your property before selling it by redoing the floors.
Yeah.
At least consider floor heating. We don't think everyone in Australia is going to be buying floor heating when they're doing floors. That's not realistic. But we do think it's reasonable that everyone doing floors, whether it's a renovation before they sell, or if they're buying off their plan, at the very least, get a free, no obligation quote from COLDBUSTER for floor heating, room by room, because it's now or never. You can't do it later. And we keep hearing from people how they missed out.
Talk about the benefit of the distribution, because the floor heating, if you like, that's why I got the heading hot air rises, because generally you've got the air coming from a duct from the roof, as we know, hot air rises, where this is coming from the floor. It's basically throughout the whole apartment. So you would assume, rather than having one vent in one area coming through the whole floor, the distribution and the warmth would be superior. But can you also turn it off and on in rooms separately?
Yes. So I'll back up one step, and I'll basically put out all the reasons why I said at the beginning why floor heating is an absolute no-brainer. It beats every other type of heating. And obviously the point you just brought up is certainly one of them. So firstly, floor heating is the only type of heating that comes from the floor. I know that's obvious, but floor heating, it heats the room from the floor where you want it, where you're standing or lying or sitting. You don't want heat coming from a ceiling or from a wall.
As simple as that is,
no-brainer.
Yeah, as simple as that, it's floor heating, but it's for the room. Every time I've ever heard it, it may only be me or maybe everyone, I just never associated the floor heating with room, even though it's so common sense when someone says it, going, why wouldn't it? But it was, you know, when you got your back warmers for your car, like it warms my back, it doesn't warm the car. I always had that misconception that it's not for the whole. It's great when
that leads to the second point, Michael. A lot of people think floor heating is to heat the floor, but we say that's the big bonus. Everyone loves the heated floor, but that's the bonus. The main reason for heating from the floor is the room. And also, floor heating is the only form of heating that's evenly distributed throughout the room. So you don't want heat coming from one or two spots. Then it has to circulate always inefficiently, blowing hot air with dust and pollen, all that crap, leaving cold and hot spots. You don't want any of that. You just want the evenly distributed, gentle, radiant heat throughout a room. And then there's other. Yeah, go ahead.
And as you said, you can turn it on if you only want the living room on. You can just have the living room on. And on most occasions, is it 30 minutes to sort of start feeling the effects of warming the room up?
Well, firstly, like you're saying, you would zone it up similar to light switches. You know, you're not gonna have one light switch for the whole house and everything's on or everything's off. It's like floor heating. You'll zone it up how you want to use the heating at different times. Generally, it's one per room, or if it's a big area, you might split it up into different areas. But yes, they can all be controlled separately. And the great thing about the thermostat is you don't even have to think about when to turn it on. Rather, you tell it when you want a certain temperature at a certain time. And then the thermostat smartly work backwards to figure out the latest to turn on. So there's no guesswork involved.
So if you get home at 7 o'clock at night, you can have it set on so it turns on at 6. So you get home and it's already working, it's already warm.
Yeah, depending on the type of heating, it could be anywhere from a half an hour warm up to, if it's in the slab heating, it could be a few hours. But you don't have to worry about that. You just tell it, I want my temperature at 7 o'clock. And it figures out when to turn on.
And I think you said you got an app as well. You can control it through an app.
Yeah, we have our latest thermostats. One has Wi-Fi capability, so you can control all your thermostats separately or all together if you like. And another even later thermostat that has that capability as well as smart home capability, so it can talk with Alexa and Google Home.
Nice.
We got it all the way down to the other way, where it's no programmable at all, but the relatively cheap manual settings. So you just turn it on and off in temperature setting. So all values, all budgets, all abilities, a wide range.
And a wise man told me when I was talking to him about the floor heating is it's great to reduce the moisture in a bathroom.
Yes, that is a very wise man, whoever told you that.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, so everyone loves floor heating in the bathroom. Heats the room, heats the floor, which you love. But yes, that's another bonus is that it dries out. We actually sell floor heating in northern Queensland, not for the heat, but for drying out bathrooms. And that's another misconception that people have out there. A lot of people think floor heating is just for bathrooms, but as I said earlier, no, floor heating is for every room of the house. If you're doing floors and if you're going to pay for heating anyway, floor heating is the absolute way to go in any room, not just bathrooms.
And also, guys, you can put it in your can you hear me, buddy?
Yeah, all good.
Oh, good. The
the thing that I loved most when I was at your showroom was putting them behind your mirrors in your bathroom. Can also mean that they'll just never,
Right.
ever fog up, which is just, and it only costs $50 or something,
Yeah,
providing you're getting it before the installation. And I think it's genius.
That's right. So the mirror demisters, we call them, they're like mini floor heaters. So we have floor heating for under tile, under timbers, vinyls, laminates, under carpet, in screed, and in slab for polished concrete finish. And then, as you just said, Mark, very, very, very thin, essentially like floor heaters, and they go on the back of the mirror demisters for just that reason. And yes, we actually offer them half price for anyone who's buying a floor heater and thermostat for their bathroom. And yet they could be as low as $30 for a small mirror. And it's something that no one thinks about. A lot of our trade clients actually buy them up and just give them the clients as little value adds, and the client really appreciates it and thinks think about the tradie as their. It's a really nice addition to any bathroom at a very low cost.
Yeah. Talk us through a little bit of the install. So how you would work with someone relaying carpet. How much notice you generally need, how much time, can you both be at one apartment? Just a very general practical sense.
Okay, so install, just like the supply of the heaters, the install is very simple. In fact, essentially they're all DIY kits. Anyone can install them if they want, or get their tradie to install them. There's instructions, videos online, etc. We're just a phone call away. But of course, we also offer the install service for those who want the full package. And roughly 50-50. A lot of tradies like to do it themselves because they like that extra revenue. It's pretty good money on top of the sales. And installs are very simple. They take anywhere from half an hour to a few hours, depending on mostly the size of the heater, but also the type of heater.
Yeah, and just to give some people an example, I'll bring up the shared screen just of a floor plan we did and a bit of the pricing. So just so people can have it in context, because as you said, it is a lot more affordable than I had imagined. So this is about an 80 square meter, 90 square meter, 2-bedroom apartment, 2 bathrooms, big living and dining. And you can sort of see in red there. And to give you a rough idea, that would be just over $6,000.
And just to point out, that also included the alfresco area. And again, our attitude is let's code up each room because it's all itemized separately, as you can see there.
Yep.
And just because, so the client can pick and choose what room they want, what room they don't want, based on the cost of that room, the heat plan, as you just showed, and that gives them all the information they need to make a fully informed decision, room by room.
And then here we've got a 5-bedroom house.
That's a game changer.
Yeah. Yeah. 5-bedroom house, and that's about $11,000.
So doing an outdoor area, because people are always struggling with our mushroom heaters or gas heaters or electric heaters in the roof on outdoor areas. But this is a real game changer because your whole outdoor area al fresco during the winter will have all that heat coming out of your tiles. That would be a cracker.
And remember, you don't have to heat as much outside if similar to inside. If the ground's warm, it's warming your body as well, so you don't have to waste all that as much heat in the air, particularly outside.
Well, think how often the balcony won't get used in winter. Like a big selling point of the winter gardens where it's an all year round sort of outdoor area. Yeah. So one, it makes the living room feel bigger because it expands, but during winter you still got that outdoor area. But I think would there be any issue if you actually did your balcony, which is open to the weather? Can they, not that it may get water, but water seeps through the tiles? Are they waterproof? Can you do outdoor?
There's no issue. It's all fully earthed and grounded, and it's all waterproof. So that's no issue at all.
Because I think, especially as you know, in that winter or later of the evenings, when you're sitting out on the balcony, if you have that warmth coming up, everyone does those fire ones, and half the time they don't work that you see at restaurants. So there's not much to accommodate. And looking at the pricing, it's only an extra few hundred to do the balcony if you're already doing it.
And granted, when we're just given a brief to, can you quote up my property, we don't as default include any outside areas or say the garage. But maybe 5% of clients actually specifically request us to do so. And again, it's the same principle. If you're going to heat it anyway, and you're doing the floors, then go floor heating. It's crazy not to. But we don't assume you're going to want to heat outside.
I reckon for outdoor on restaurants, it would be an incredible product, because restaurants are relying on trade during winter outdoors. You heat that floor, that makes a huge difference. And there's so many applications.
Yeah,
I feel like I'm selling something.
And that leads to another thought. Probably 99% of our business is residential, as you can imagine. But if one could accept that the benefits for floor heating in your home are equal to the benefits in a commercial property, if it's good enough for your family, it's good enough for your employees and for your clients, then think a bit laterally. Think of floor heating when you're doing your floors for a commercial property, whether it's outside or inside, or a doctor's office or a restaurant. Again, it's the same principle.
I really like that point you had, Mark, about the restaurants, because the amount of restaurants we've been to and people don't go, or they get annoyed, or they're taking their own blanket because of the cold breeze, and they're asking a heater to be moved from someone else's table to their table. Yeah. We've all experienced it. We all get it. Like, it happens. So think how many people decide not, like restaurateurs, their hardest time is winter. So if you can invest in something that could minimum, and why is it winter? Because it's cold. If people bring their own blanket to the restaurant, there's something wrong there. And we just accepted it. So I really like that idea of doing the outdoor for the restaurants. But yeah. Anything else?
Another great.
Yeah, Mark, sorry.
Great Northern Beaches business.
Yes.
Another great Northern Beaches business.
Yes, we're actually we're in Cromer at the moment, but this is how we got known by Novak. Is we're moving to French's Forest, hopefully before end of year. We have to double the size because we need more office space and more warehouse space, because we're at the tip of the iceberg with floor heating, but we're getting there slowly by communicating this huge opportunity for anyone out there doing floors. It's slowly getting through, and that tip is slowly increasing. That tip of the iceberg is slowly increasing. So it's just a matter of communicating.
You're exactly right. I think it's just a lot of lack of knowledge. Lack of knowledge is probably the best way, because if you're doing a 30 grand unit renovation or anything like that, especially if I love the balcony aspect of it, and it's 5 to 10 grand.
That's incredible.
Yeah. You're spending that kind of money on a property, on a unit, and for 5 or 10 grand more to get floor heating throughout, that increases the enjoyment of that unit far more than the percent of the total cost by having floor heat. The same with the bathroom. You spend 20 grand on a bathroom, you could spend in the hundreds adding floor heating to it.
Yes.
And the bathroom is so much more better with floor heating. It's a no-brainer. We just have to communicate this to everyone.
And the one thing I'm really excited about, which would probably be a lot of people's reservation, is the feeling of the heat. We all know the difference between a nice wood fire and an electric heater, where you just get that electric heat and it doesn't feel good. I think, I'm very excited when you said in your new showroom, you're going to be doing like a room that will be heated by it. So I think the biggest one, once they get knowledge about it, is to be able to feel the warmth. Because we all know the difference between a good warmth and that $30 electric heater, which doesn't feel good.
And everyone loves that radiant, gentle heat that heats a room more. Like it just adds so much appreciation to that room. But on top of that, remember, unlike other types of heating, there's nothing to see, nothing to smell, nothing in the way, no noise, no moving parts, no machinery, no maintenance. All floor heating, all COLDBUSTER floor heating provides is that great radiant heat at excellent value, and it's like there's nothing there. It's just the ambiance of the room. It's so improved, and the warm floor is everyone. And you talk to anyone who's had floor heating, and almost everyone loves it. There's not many products or services out there where practically everyone loves the product.
Yeah.
And the big shame is we keep hearing from people after the fact, I missed out on floor heat. They visit someone's house, experience floor heating, and they realize they missed out on for their own home. They didn't think of it at the time, or none of the trades told them about it. Or they thought it was expensive. No, I'm not going to bother getting even a quote. It's not for me. So that's why we provide this plan, a plan, and a quote, just to give them all this information. No obligation, no expectations. We just want everyone to have the ability to consider floor heating before it's too late. We don't have to sell it. It's just providing the information.
Beautiful. Well, I think that's a wrap. We've gone double, triple the time.
I love the
Your audio's pretty bad.
It goes under carpet as well, guys, is it? Okay.
Yeah. People think it's just for under tile because the tiles are cold. But no, floor heating is meant to heat any floor surface
For the room.
Not
Not
the room.
just
It's
for
meant
the
to heat
room.
the room, not the floor. So don't just limit to tile. Limit to any room in the house. Regardless, everyone loves a warm carpet. You don't need it to warm a carpet, to heat a carpet necessarily, but to have a warm carpet, say, wake up in the morning on a cold day in your bedroom, set down a warm carpet.
Well, thank you for jumping on. Rick. I've put your contact details, the message. If anyone wants to contact him, give him a call, have him through your property. A lot of the time, they don't need to inspect the property to do it for you. So they put together with it like same day for the work that we've got here. So reach out. They're in Cromer, French's Forest, local, but they service all of Australia. I know you're telling us you're doing stuff in Perth, Brisbane. Yep. So I think that DIY home install by yourself. It's if it's something you can do yourself, then it just means it's very simple. Which is great. But you also can have the professional do it. So it's not a big process. It's not a scary process. I know for myself, I can't wait till the showroom's built so I can feel the warmth because I'm a big supporter of what I'm hearing. And I can't wait to sort of feel it, basically.
Do you mind if I give out our email address?
Good luck.
I've put it all in there. But yeah,
it's already on the screen.
Okay.
Yeah, it's already on the screen. See, Rick, I've put it there.
There we go.
Well, it'll be better on the normal. Let me copy it in.
Okay. Thanks, guys.
Take it easy, guys.
Pleasure.
Have a good day, everyone.
Goodbye.
Okay, bye.